Good afternoon. My name is Russ Gibson, and I want to talk to you today about the importance of education for our youth. Our young people are the future of our country, so why aren't we doing more for them? So many adolescent test scores across the country are at alarming lows. America's education system is in very big trouble, and one of the ways the U.S. can help fix this education and improve on our educational system is to engage in year-round education. We need to look at the advantages of year-round programs and begin to realistically scale it against educational systems, especially outside the United States. Why are we behind? How does it have an effect on the future economy of the U.S.? One thing's for sure, it's imperative that we seriously address this issue. Our youth are our tomorrow. They're going to be the future backbone of the United States. So let's quickly take a look at the following facts based on a worldwide study, and these are the results from the PISA. For those of you who don't know, the PISA is the Program for International Student Assessment. It's a worldwide study by the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development in member and non-member nations. This particular study was done among 15-year-old pupils and their scholastic performance in the areas of mathematics, science, and reading. And ladies and gentlemen, the numbers are very alarming. Fact: in math, the United States scored below 29 nations and education systems in 2012 on the Program for International Student Assessment. That was a drop from 23rd in the year of 2009, when the test was last given. The latest average score posted by the U.S. was higher than 26 nations and not measurably different than 9. But look at this: Poland, Vietnam, Austria, Ireland, the United Kingdom, Latvia, and Luxembourg. They all passed the United States for the first time. Fact: in science, the United States lagged behind 22 nations, falling from 18th in 2009. These scores were higher than 29 nations and about the same as 13. Fact: in reading, its best area, the United States was behind 19 nations, a fall from 9th in 2009. It was above 34 and about the same as 11. Fact: compared with 34 industrialized nations in the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, which administered the test, American teens were below average in math and about average in reading and science. U.S. scores on PISA have stagnated over the past decade in all three areas. Russia, which has been behind the United States, has caught up, while Vietnam, Germany, Poland are among nations that have made significant progress. What's the cause for these low scores? Some believe defunding and privatization are hurting students, while others feel discipline, or the lack of, is problematic in the schools and interrupts learning. Standardized testing wasn't able to escape the finger-pointing process either. Of course, there are parents who believe that standardized testing and Common Core studies have no real representation of a child's knowledge. But it's funny. I was always told that if you keep doing the same thing, you should expect the same results. So the question is, well, Russell, is there any good news? I think so. Let's take a quick look. Quote: year-round schools are on the rise. According to a recent report by the Congressional Research Service, they tell us that the number of year-round schools has increased by 764. It's about 26% since the year 2007. Okay? And again, this report was issued by the NEA today in 2014. I think I found some advantages that arise from year-round ideals are more common sense and practical and gave change to the educational template we've used. These included more frequent breaks, but allowed for longer period for students to be engaged in education. Some have stated that it gives the family more financial freedom with planning and activities. Absences and burnouts must also be considered. Multiple small breaks would allow teachers and students to refresh more frequently and maintain a sounder body and mind. A year-round schedule might also make it easier for students to access tutoring, particularly economically disadvantaged students. The California Department of Education also thinks so. Students are less likely to forget material over a short period break than they might have over a traditional summer vacation. All these make up a very detailed argument. And there's so much more information, ladies and gentlemen, that's behind the ideals about whether or not we can progress and get ahead of the game if we do year-round testing. Well, not year-round testing, but if we're having our kids go to year-round schools. But make no mistake about this, the test scores and the numbers don't lie. Will the U.S. be able to overcome the hurdles and challenges needed to correct this? As usual, there's a lot of finger pointing. We know this. But my question is, how can it be other countries who are less fortunate than the United States? How are they able to provide for their kids with an education that is theoretically only available in the U.S.? We have a lot to think about, and we have a lot to do. And above everything else, the children need to come first. They've got to come first. And there should be no excuse as to why we are so behind. My name is Russ Gibson. Thank you for listening to my feelings why educational and year-round educational system are so important and why we must make this change. Have a good day, guys.